Take a moment to imagine this. Keep in mind, if you imagine too well, your brain may go into shock. Be careful. We start with a deck of playing cards and allow the spectator to shuffle the deck. We take the deck back, glance through it for maybe 2 to 3 seconds, and hand it back to the spectator. The spectator is able to select any suit in that deck, and we're able to recite back in perfect order the cards of that suit as they appear, accomplishing an incredible feat. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. If you're joining me for the first time, you've come to the right place. My name is Vineet, and I run this card mechanic called Channel. That's not right. So you know, sometimes in Magic, you come across these effects, or you come up with these effects that you just don't know how you'd like to perform them. And there's so many possibilities. You can perform them as mentalism, you can perform them as feats of incredible memorization. You just don't know. But there is some beauty in that. Because you have so many choices with performance, you can perform it in many different ways. And that's what I love about this card trick. There's so much freedom in the performing aspect, there's so much freedom in the handling aspect. It's something that's not too common, so I'm excited to be sharing this with you. But before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe, as it really goes a long way in supporting the channel. Alright guys, buckle up, let's do this. Boom! Alright, check this out. It is actually unreal, alright? We'll start off by shuffling out the deck. There we go, just like this. And if a spectator wants to shuffle, they can also shuffle as well. Let's just give it the deck a riffle shuffle like this. And we'll even give it a couple of cuts. If they want to give it another cut, they can give it another cut. Whatever they want to do, they can go ahead and just get that done. Boom. So at this point, I'm going to just take the deck back from the spectator and do my best to memorize it as quickly as possible. Here we go. Okay. Yep, I think I got it. I think I got the deck memorized. Whew. All right, I'm going to hand the deck back to the spectator. Now, here's what's going to happen. The spectator is going to be allowed to select any suit that they like, but we're going to select it in this way. So they have the choice. They want to select the black or the red. Whichever one they pick, that's the one we will go with. So let's just say they want black, okay? And within black, we have the spades and the clubs. I want them to select one more between spades and clubs. Let's just say spades because, you know, people like spades over clubs most of the time. So now, since I have memorized the entire deck, I know the exact order of all of the spades in the deck. So here's what's going to happen. The spectator is going to go through the deck like this, and whenever they see a spade, they're just going to stop. But of course, since I'm doing this for the camera, I can't really stop when there's a spade because I don't really know when there's a spade. But we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to recite the order of the playing cards in order as we go through them for all of the spades. Okay, so the first spade is the ace of spades. Then it is the 8 of spades. Actually, do I even need to say spades? I feel like you already know what it is. So it's let's start over. We have the ace. Okay, after the ace, we're gonna have a 2. After the 2, we're gonna have a 5. After the 5, we're gonna have a jack. Followed up by the jack, we have a queen. And then followed up by queen. This one's a bit difficult. I want to say a 6 and a 7. I think I saw those together. And the next one will be a 3, and I believe followed by a 3 is a king. All right, so we have that. Okay, this is where it gets a bit more difficult. What's after the king? I think after the king there's a 10. After the 10 there is a 4. And after the 4 there is... What's the last card after 4? After the 4 there is a 9. So I believe if I recited that correctly, let's just go through right here. In order, I said we had the ace, we had the 8, we had 2, we had 5, we had the jack followed by a queen, jack followed by a queen, then we had a 6, we had a 7, we had a 3, we had a king, we had a 10, and we had a 4, and we had a 9. And there it is, all the spades recited in perfect order. Alright everybody, welcome to the tutorial. I'm finally using a deck of Nox after a long time. It feels good. Just a little bit of background on this effect. This is actually something that, an idea I actually had when I was meeting with one of my underground club members. And we talked about the interlacing principle, and I thought, how would I incorporate this in a card trick in a different type of way? And I came up with this idea. I really enjoyed it. I performed it a couple of times, got some amazing reactions, so I want to share it with all of you. So given that background, let's go ahead and break it down. So as I was mentioning in the beginning, there's a lot of flexibility that you have with this trick in terms of how you like to perform it, how you'd like to handle it as well. And in my performance, I used it as more of a memorization type feat, but again, you can also use it as a type of mentalism. So that being said, I'll kind of walk through a little bit of both performances and we'll take it from there. So first things first, there is a setup required for this trick, and that's what makes it unbelievable, because even though there is a setup required, the spectator can still shuffle up the deck before doing the trick, and it just actually sets up the trick for you, which is, unbelievable. So what you need for this is the setup like so. You can select any two suits. Either you select the spades, diamonds, like I did. You can select the clubs, hearts, clubs, diamonds, whatever you want to do. Just select two suits. And you want to organize them like this, or actually in any order that you choose, but I'm going to show you the order that I used. So I have the spades in the order I like, and I have the diamonds in the same order. Now, the order that I selected, I want to spend a few minutes here because there is also some memorization involved in this trick. Regardless of whether you're doing this as a memorization feat or a mentalism feat, there is memorization required. So I have the cards in this order: Ace, 8, 2, 5, Jack, Queen, 6, 7, 3, King, 10, 4, 9. And the way I remember this is very easy. I built a story around it. And my story goes something like this. I ate 2 $5 meals at Jack's with my queen on 673 King Street 10 minutes before 9. All right, and just breaking that down a little bit just so that you also get an understanding of where this story came from. I saw the ace. I wanted to go with that first. Ace is like a 1, so I went with I for ace. 8 is 8, like eating food, 8. And then 2, so we're planning on having 2 meals. So I ate 2 $5 meals. So I ate 2 $5 meals, and I'm doing this as like I'm eating with someone else. I ate 2 $5 meals at Jack's, and this is where I was a little bit confused on what should I do with the Jack or Queen or a King. And then I found a restaurant that's actually named Jack's, so it made sense. I ate 2 $5 meals at Jack's. And since I'm eating 2 meals, I want to eat those 2 meals with someone. So let's just say my queen. I ate 2 $5 meals at Jack's with my queen on 673 King Street. This actually worked out perfectly. And 673 King Street is a great trick, by the way. If you have never seen that trick, I do have a video on it that I made years ago. I looked like a child. But regardless, it's a great video. I'll put the link on the screen. You should definitely check it out. So 673 King Street is how I remembered that. And then I had these 3 cards left. I'm like, what should I do with these 3 cards? So I said I wanted to use 10 minutes, and 4 could also be like before. That kind of made sense to me. So 10 minutes before 9. So the full story came out to be, I ate 2 $5 meals at Jack's with my queen on 673 King Street 10 minutes before 9. And that's how I wrote and memorized this story. So I organized that for the spades and the diamonds. And from here, you're pretty much all set in terms of what you need to know. So for the setup, you can take either one of these cards, put them one on top of the other. And then lastly, take this pile of fairly mixed hearts and clubs or whatever other 2 suits you have. Just make sure they're the opposite color. Put that here. And we're all set and ready to go. Now, starting off the performance, I mentioned there's shuffling that you can do. There's shuffling the spectator can do. So what I like to do starting off is I give the deck a full deck false shuffle. And it looks something like this. Again, I have the cards, I have all the diamonds here, spades here. And although you really only need to maintain the top half of the deck, I still do a full deck false shuffle. Because at this point, it comes a bit more naturally to me than trying to control something else. And if you want to see a tutorial on it, I'll put the link on the screen. You can go ahead and check it out. But after doing that full deck false shuffle, you'll see that the cards are still in order. From here, after I shuffle, I'm like, wait, you can shuffle too. I want you to give the deck a riffle shuffle. Now, depending on your audience, depending on your spectator, you want to give the deck to someone who can actually do somewhat of a riffle shuffle. So they should be able to split the deck in half, or as close to half as possible. Hold the deck like this. Actually do a riffle shuffle, because you can actually do a riffle shuffle in this deck, which is pretty awesome. And then you can even spread it out to show the cards are being pushed together. Push all that in, and then square it up. But again, only do this if you're comfortable with the spectator doing a riffle shuffle and you feel like you can control them in that direction. All right, if not, then you can go ahead and do the riffle shuffle yourself and then spread it out like I did and have the spectator push it in, because you kind of want to build some type of interaction to show them that the cards are being fairly mixed. So once that's done, then you can allow them to cut the deck as many times as they'd like. So cut the deck like this, cut the deck like this, like that, and like this, whatever it is, it really, really doesn't matter. All right, and now you can put the deck here and ask them, or actually, you know, dictate this this trick to them. What is it? So yeah, you're just gonna tell the spectator what's going on in the trick. So depending on if you're doing it as a mentalism effect or a feat of memorization, like I did in my performance, I took the deck, I took a quick run through of the deck, and in my run through, I take a look at the first diamond, and I'd also take a look at the first spade. All right. So taking a look at the first diamond, we already see that it's a 7. And then taking a look at the first spade, we see that it's an ace. And now, since the interlacing principle works in this way, that it's the way that we had it shuffled is that it's cyclic. So since it starts with a 7, we know it's 673 King Street. So 6, 7. After the 7, we'd see a 3. After that, we'd see a king. Then we see a 10, 4, 9. And then it'll wrap back up again. So let me show you here. We have a 7. We see a 3, as I mentioned. We see a king. Then we see a 10, 4, 9. And it'll wrap back around. After a bit of a gap, you'll see the ace of diamonds. You see ace of diamonds, and it'll go back in order. 8, 2, 5, jack, queen, 6, and so on and so forth. And it wraps back around to 7. And of course, with the spades, it's ace. So he starts off with ace, so it's in the normal order. And you'll be able to easily go through the spades as well. So this way, if you're doing it as a feat of memorization, you quickly pick it up, say you'll go through the cards very quick and memorize them. And as you memorize them, again, as I mentioned, you take a look at the first diamond and you take a look at the first ace. Not the first ace, sorry. You take a look at the first diamond and you take a look at the first spade. All right, then you can put the deck down and you tell the spectator that you're gonna have them select any suit that they'd like. And we'll do the selection in this way. They can either select red or they can select black. Whichever one they choose, that's the one we're gonna go with. And this gives them a bit of an empowerment that they have the power to choose which color. So now let's just say they selected red in our case. So we go with red. And with red, we have 2 options, diamonds and hearts. And if they pick diamonds, that's great, we go with diamonds. And if they pick hearts, then we can say, since the first choice was yours and we went with what you selected, this time we'll do the opposite. We'll get rid of the hearts and we'll go with the diamonds. And from here, the spectator will take the deck. The spectator takes the deck, and since, again, we're doing this as more of a memorization thing, as I mentioned, we're going to have the spectator just go ahead and stop at every diamond that they have, or stop at every diamond that they see as they're going through the deck. And as they stop, you recite those diamonds for them. So again, 6, 3, 10, 4, 9, and so on and so forth. Now, if you want to do this as a feat of mentalism, this is where it gets a little bit more tricky. Okay, what happens here is instead of, after the deck is shuffled, the spectator takes the deck directly. You don't get the time to go through the deck and look at the first diamond, look at the first spade. The spectator takes the deck as soon as it's shuffled, and you tell them to stop at the first, whatever diamond or spade, whatever one they selected. So here, let's just say they selected the diamonds. You tell them to stop at the first diamond, and what you're going to do on your end is just guess what that first diamond is. So you can just guess, let's just say you want to guess ace. And they say, no, you're wrong. And the way that you can play it off here, first of all, if it works, you're golden. You will be freaking wizard. But in most cases, 1 out of 13, it will not work. And you tell the spectator, sorry, I think our brains are not in sync yet. Can you tell me what that card is? And when they tell you what the card is, you can say, okay, I think our brains are in sync. I see what you're seeing. They say the 7 of diamonds, you say, okay, I can see through your eyes now. Can you go over to the next card? They go to the next card, they stop at the next card. As soon as they stop here, you say, I think I'm seeing a 3 of diamonds, and you can kind of play it off as you're seeing through their eyes. And I've also gotten some insane reactions with this as well. So regardless of whether you're using this as a feat of memorization or mentalism, you will get some crazy reactions. Right? That trick is awesome. It does require a little bit of setup work, a little bit of memorization work, but trust me, you will blow people's minds. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as it helps me create better content for all of you. Thanks so much for spending your time with me. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you really soon.